Hey. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, bro?
Not much, bro. Just filming a vlog. What are you up to?
Oh, vlog, bro?
Do you want to have a chat for the vlog for a sec?
Sure, bro.
Yeah. I'm just coming out of Glenorchy, bro, to talk about the community. You out here living in Glenorchy?
A little bit, man. I was in the shelter in Hobart for a bit.
Yeah, is that Bethlehem House?
No, I'm in the, like, what is it, the safe space?
Oh, yeah, behind the church?
Yeah,
that's right, bro. That's right.
Yeah.
Where are you living now?
Sort of in between hers and there kind of thing, you know.
Yeah, sweet, man.
And missus and stuff, yeah.
Sweet, bro. Have you spent much time out in Glenorchy lately?
You know, I want to get on and off the bus and stuff.
Yeah, just cruising through.
To see a few people around and stuff, you know.
Sick, man.
Keep my eye out.
Yeah. Any dramas?
Not that I know of, really. Not with me, anyway.
Yeah, I hear everyone saying Glenorchy's gotten worse, but it doesn't look that much different.
Honestly, man, like...
You know what I mean?
I think there's a few essays and stuff.
Yeah, but there was a few bogans back in the day.
I mean,
essays are just bogans
from the same thing, bro.
They're future bogans. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I've got respect for them, mate.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, man. Got respect for the streets.
Big love, my brother. You have a good day.
You too, man.
Good to see you, man.
You too, brother.
So yeah, I hear everywhere. Everyone's saying Glenorchy's fucked these days. No doubt the drugs have gotten worse, but it's an interesting one. I think nighttime definitely switches it up. So I first made a mate from Newtown when I was young, and that's kind of how I ended up out in Glenorchy, hanging out with a lot of the fellas that were on the street out here. I grew up on the south side of the city, but yeah, once I started hanging around the city, it wasn't long before I was out in Glenorchy. We're out here getting weed, going for sessions, you know, parties, house parties, all that sort of stuff. Here's Old Pulse. This is the first place I ever recorded. Doesn't look like it's open at the moment, but shout outs to Matt Fargo, the OG. This mural's still here. This good old mural with a big needle in it. I always just thought that was so... We've got a world with the eye and a police hat and a syringe TV. Like... Good old Pulse. Shout outs to Big Willie. He's the man. CJ. There's two fellas from over New York that worked as youth workers out here in Glenorchy for a long time. Good old CJ and Big Willie. Legends. It was a pretty interesting dynamic having a couple fellas from New York working out here in Glenorchy. They really brought a different dynamic to the culture here, you know, especially because once again, the culture here, very wannabe American, you know what I mean? When I was young out here, everyone was wearing like Slim Shady, Dada, all the classic tracksuits, Wu-Tang, you know, all that sort of shit. So, Captain Glenorchy. Let's tell the yarn of Captain Glenorchy. So, Captain Glenorchy. So, you can actually find his Facebook page still. So get on Facebook and look up Captain Glenorchy and go leave him a comment. Stir him back up. Let's stir up Captain Glenorchy. Let's get him going again. But yeah, so it was a Facebook character. A lot of people didn't really get it at the time. They thought I was trying to have a go at a real person. But Captain Glenorchy is not even real. Who would have thought? Yeah, so there was a guy on Facebook that was making cartoons, and it was like Captain America, but Captain Glenorchy with a big G on his chest. And yeah, he had a thing going. He was on Facebook and he was making cartoons, pretty much taking like Tassie culture and making jokes about it. I remember he had... What's going on, fellas? Gang, gang. Filming a vlog. What are you doing? Do you want to have a yarn on the vlog? What's going on, bro?
You're Glen up now, are you?
How you been?
You're Glen up now.
What's that?
Glen up now.
Glen up now?
Yeah.
What does that mean, bro? This is the new slang in Glenorchy.
No, Glen up.
Glen up.
Yeah.
What's that?
Fuck Glen boys.
The Glen boys.
Fuck them all.
So who are the Glen boys?
All the little scums that hang out on the
Okay, and who are you guys?
Cad Riley lad. We're the gangsters around.
We're the gangsters.
Yeah.
So there's the gangsters and then the scums.
I've got to go.
Break it down for me.
See you, Brazzy. We're the best of them all.
You're the best of them all, or best of them all?
Best of them all.
Okay. What are you guys warring over?
I'll see you if you come into town.
Yeah, no worries,
Yeah,
lads.
Greeley lad.
On ya.
Really, yeah, come out, mate.
Yeah, I'll see you in town, lad. All right, so it's on. We've got the scums versus the gangsters. We've been here 5 minutes. Let's go. Let's go. This is the old Glenorchy lawns outside the city council. Seen many a rumman having a bit of a scrap on this bit of grass here. Let's do it. Need to fire it up. It's been a while since I've worked around Glenorchy. I'm going to go try and find Wombat in his burrow. Have a good day, brother. So, best in them all, I reckon. There's the Glen Ops. The Glen Ops. I like that. Glen Ops. The Glenorchy Ops. Let's go. This is old Northgate. McDonald's has been taken away. There's a pretty hectic fucking McDonald's here, right where that Simplicity Funerals is. It's pretty much most of the foot traffic around the front of Northgate. Hello. I love Glenorchy. So yeah, Captain Glenorchy. That's right, he was a cartoon guy. He was on Facebook and he had a lot of cartoons. And I was actually a fan of him, to be honest. And I hit him up. I actually hit up Captain Glenorchy originally and I said, hey mate, I love your work. Can I write a theme song for you? And he wrote back, the captain doesn't need your help. And to be honest, I was butthurt. I was actually pissed off. I was like, fuck this cunt. Because he had more followers than me on Facebook at the time as well. I was hell jealous. I was like, you know, wanted to jump on board the Captain Glenorchy train. I was denied entry and it hurt. I was like, fuck this cunt. So I remember I wrote the diss track and yeah, I wrote the track. I would have written it in a day or something like that. And I wrote it to this beat that my mate Da Vinci made. And I remember Da Vinci, he didn't want me using the beat because it wasn't finished. How you doing, bruv? Good, man. Yourself? That's good, brother. And yeah, it wasn't a finished beat. The Captain Glenorchy beat wasn't actually finished. It was just like a little quick loop that he made up with a bass line. And I was like, nah, I want it. And he was like, no, bro, it's not finished. And I was like, no, I want it. And I think I actually full ganked it off his computer when he wasn't looking. Because he was like, Da Vinci loves getting his beats finished. And yeah. So I went in when he wasn't looking with my USB. I put it on my USB and I went and recorded it. And at the time, I was actually working in Salamanca as a dish pig at a restaurant that had just opened called Jack Green. And so it was just after I dropped the Salamanca Wankers track, which I'll make a whole vlog about Salamanca Wankers next time I go down there. But yeah, hello, how you doing? You going well? Yeah, going well. I'm going well. I'm just filming a vlog. Do you want to have a chat? Nah, all good, sis. Yeah, I'm going really well, thank you. Yeah, just walking around. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, what? Oh, it's on me. You may take a selfie. How do I switch it? Oh, yeah. How many? I'll get it close that one. Ready?
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Uncle Wayne also sent his mum.
Oh, bless. Tell him I sent
He
my
rang
love
me
as
the
well.
other day. He goes, can you tell him I said, oh, I was like, okay.
Yeah, sure, easy. We're sending my love. You have a good day. You too. See ya. Bless. Bless. Uncle Wayne's the best. I was talking about Uncle Wayne and one of the other vlogs, where I come from. See, Uncle Wayne's up top. This is how small the country is. This is how small the country is. it all ties up. This is what happens if you don't stay hidden. You actually see the connection from the top of the country to the bottom. So yeah, back, Captain Glenorchy, let's go. So yeah, I was jealous of him. So I wrote the diss track, and I went and recorded it. Yeah, and I was working at Jack Green, and I remember my mate Smutty Sam that I worked with in the kitchen at Jack Green. And Smutty Sam is a very unique person, very creative. And I remember Smutty, yeah, I just had a shitty camera. It wasn't a video camera, it was just like a $130 camera from like JB Hi-Fi or something at the time. And Smutty Sam and I came out to Glenorchy, and we walked around with my shitty little camera, and we filmed the video clip to Captain Glenorchy, and we put it together. And this fella Adam, shout out to Adam, I think he's working on the radio these days. Yeah, he edited it. So it was just like a full home job. You know, Captain Glenorchy was just a full home job. We just smashed it out, recorded it pretty rough, filmed it on this shitty little camera pretty rough, and edited it together on, would have edited it on Windows Movie Maker or something. And yeah, it kicked right off. I remember when I uploaded Captain Glenorchy, I released it on YouTube, and then I walked to work. And by the time my shift finished at work, I looked on it and the video was on 7,000 views. So we got like 7,000 views in 6 hours. And you got to remember, this is like 2012. Oh, here we go. The old City of Glenorchy Masonic Centre. Meeting inquiries. Wonder if any Glenorchy lads have joined the fucking Freemasons. Go down to the bike track. Have a little stroll. So yeah, that's what happened. And when I put out the song, it kicked right off. And Captain Glenorchy tried to take some shots back. And yeah, what did he call me? He put up a thing and he said, a handicapped kid from Kingston has made a song about me. Something like that. And it was like, yeah, it was just a fail. And then as well, he's trying to talk about Captain Glenorchy keeping the streets clean, and then he's making disability jokes. Shame. So, and then I fired back at him again. And so this was right at the time, see, right around the time, the mayor of Glenorchy got done for paying to sleep with a 12-year-old girl. His name was Terry Martin, and he was the mayor of Glenorchy, and he got done for, yeah, paying to sleep with a 12-year-old girl. It's a fucking horrible story, where the girl's dad was trying to, the girl's dad was pimping her out, and the mayor of Glenorchy, fucking putrid cunt. And the worst thing is, there's a big list with like 120 coppers and Tasmanian politicians that did the same thing, but only the mayor of Glenorchy really went down for it. So I remember at the time, Captain Glenorchy tried to make a joke about finding me in Terry Martin's rape dungeon. That's literally what he was joking about. Captain Glenorchy was making a joke about me being in the rape dungeon of the mayor of Glenorchy because the mayor of Glenorchy had just been done for that shit. Shame, brother. I body bagged you. And yeah, unfortunately, he never made a comeback. I feel like I kind of like pissed on his fire a bit. And it was interesting, but it was a big step when I did the Captain Glenorchy one. It's really kind of like, it really connected locally, you know, and I still come out here to Glenorchy and so many people hit me up and they're like, oh, I love Captain Glenorchy, you know what I mean? And it's sick, because it really, I feel it captures a part of like classic Tassie culture, you know, throwing sticks on the bike track. And that's what we do when we're kids and we're fucking bored. We throw sticks in the bike track, stupid shit, which you shouldn't fucking do, you know, like this bike track, it goes all the way into Hobart. Lots of graph spots. Let's see what's up here. Yeah, old Captain Glenorchy. I really hope you watch this, brother, Captain Glenorchy, and like, big love, man. I hope you're doing well in life. I hope your family are well. I know who you are, and I know we've got a few mutual friends, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Captain Glenorchy. I actually am sorry if I hurt your feelings, or, you know, if you felt that I, like, took over your thing, you know what I mean? And, because I did, I hijacked it pretty hard. Like, so many people don't even know Captain Glenorchy has a Facebook page or was a cartoonist or did anything like that. I just kind of took the Captain Glenorchy thing and made it mine. And I guess it was intentional. It wasn't intentional to take it. Oh, check this out. The old train yard. Look at that, couple of old steam trains. Look at that, it's got the old tram. So we don't have any passenger trains in Tasmania anymore. I think that old tram was definitely one of the old passenger trains. It looks like a bit of a train museum actually over there. It says Tasmanian Government Railways, important notice. But yeah, I really do wish that we had passenger trains. But once again, there's so much corruption in the council and government. You know, the people that run the government in Tassie all live in one little side of town. They don't want the other side of town having access to the cities. It's always been the case. The classism in Tasmania is fucking ridiculous. And it's pretty obvious. The more I find out about white-collar crime and blue-collar crime, and the more I find out about what's actually happening in this state, it's corrupt as fuck. It is so corrupt. There's corruption on every government, council. Fuck, there's corruption in salmon farming. There's corruption in the Fox Free Force, corruption in wood shop and everything. Forestry. So much deep-seated corruption in this island. And then on top of that, everyone in the government points the fingers at the criminals. I guarantee you there's more criminals working in the government, council and Tasmanian police than there are in Risdon Prison. There's only 500 cells in Risdon Prison. You know what I mean? Do the maths. 500,000 people on this island, 500 cells in Risdon Prison, and the whole government's corrupt. Hey, as my boy Ruins back in the day. Fuck, he is a beast. If you're watching this, Ruins, I hope you're doing well, brother. Send you all the love, man. Hope you're healthy. But yeah, fucking, I wonder if I can get down into the old tunnel. So that's the train track. There we go. Hey, that rock is a bit wobbly. Good old here. Oh yeah. That trolley embedded into the ground. Fuck, that's buried deep. Look at that trolley. I don't know if you can see it. This is the top half. Fuck, that's in there. It's an ancient part of history now. Couple saddy bags. Northgate. I'm in Northgate. Fucking all day. Scamming for change on the way to my court case. Yeah. It's Captain Glenorchy. Yeah, bruv. Get it going again. Come back, Captain Glenorchy. We want you. We want you, Captain Glenorchy. The streets need you more than ever. Look, we got the Glen Ops out here. There we go. We got Angry in here. Yeah, that's the thing. I guess I will make a video about drill, but you know, it's pretty obvious how much drill and Sydney culture has really affected the whole country, you know. When I was young out here, they were classic bogans, you know what I mean? Yeah, we rocked the Eminem, Slim Shady, you know, fucking Wu-Tang, all the tracksuits and shit, but they were bogans. They were just fucking classic Australian, Tasmanian bogans, you know. But now with the internet, and with population, I really think this is why Sydney sets the trend, is because, hey, Carsten Spa. But yeah, Sydney sets the trend because of population. And this is always the case. And I think this is why, you know, it'll be a long time before we see Australia really influence America or England. So if the world will, you know, last that long, that's for sure. Who knows? It's all up in the air now. Anything could happen in the next year. And the fact that we're all connected in this consciousness just proves even more that, I don't know, everyone's thinking the same shit. Yeah. But yeah, there's been a few gangs in Glenorchy over the years. I guess the most notorious one from back in the day was the old GM, the Glenorchy Mafia, which had a massive reputation back in the day, you know. And I know a few of those fellas. There's a few of them that have really turned their lives around. Like, I really want to do a vlog with Wayne Howlett, because, you know, he's had a crazy journey, Wayne. And Wayne grew up out here at a very, very hectic time, you know. And a lot of these guys were just products of their environment. A lot of people couldn't really help become the way they were because it was the environment. And this is what I talk about with, like, toxic culture. It's very hard to stand out and do something different when the environment is sick. And it's the same with, like, you know, in the Spanian vlog with Riley and up in Northern Territory. All the young kids up there, you know, car stealing is at its highest rate in the whole of the country up in the Northern Territory. And it's the environment, especially with the young fellas that get sent into the city and they come from a culture of the land and the country and a free economy in that sense. It's a cultural difference. And, you know, when I go back up there this year, I'm going to try and help explain it a lot more. But colonization is still happening in this country. This is the thing that, like, so many people don't realize when they live in the big cities. is that the colonization is still happening. And you have to go to places like Darwin or Broome or, you know, the very top edge, because when this country was colonized, it was colonized from the bottom up and the coasts. That's why you go more inland, you know. So many people in the cities in Australia that are protesting have no idea what's actually going on in this country. And they don't understand it. Everyone wants to do the right thing, but you have to understand the lens that you're looking at it through. If you want to help, you know. I'm still trying to find the answers out on how I can help the best. And if I can help some other people understand how it is, then I'm somewhat contributing, you know. So they started giving out land grants in Glenorchy in 1804. So pretty much after first settlement in Hobart was when they started giving out land grants for this area. The traditional mob for this area were called the Mohenania people. And unfortunately not much is known about them. But I think it took about 60 years from when they started giving out land grants before this place was actually named a rural community known as Glenorchy. Glenorchy means the Glen of Tumbling Waters. So it seems that this mainly was an industrial area for a long time, especially around the First and Second World War. But it's always been kind of like the beginning of the northern suburbs, you know. And I think it's back in Moona, or the edge between Newtown and Moona is what they call the flannelette curtain. So I guess through the 70s and 80s, as the bogan culture became more prevalent and they labelled it more, it was these sort of areas that were labelled as bogan, you know what I mean? And once again, the classism from one side of the town to the other side of the town was pretty obvious in areas like this. A lot of resources were kept away from these sort of places. And yeah, it's quite interesting. I read another bit of paper about Glenorchy, and apparently when the first guys that got the land grants for this area, they're like, oh, I'm going over there, it looks sunny. You know, the irony is that 100 years later, it was a pretty dark suburb, you know. There's a lot of history of abuse in this area. There's a boys' home, camps out here that the Anglican Church used. So you do have a lot of trauma in these sort of areas, you know. And you can really see it being passed down over the generations as it's coming through. Hey! Gotta love it, you know. But yeah, I like Glenorchy. Hey, brother! You know, I get nothing but love when I come out here. I've painted a lot of bedrooms out here. But yeah, definitely in the early days when it came to sort of like, you know, my sort of first time I heard about gangs in southern Tasmania was between Kingston and Glenorchy. And as far as I knew, they used to meet up at the showgrounds at the Hobart show once a year and have a bit of a war. But it seems, as we can tell from these young fellas, you know, the drill influences now kind of like what they're doing, and no doubt these kids are getting caught up on postcodes. You know, who's the best in the bus mall? It's all tribalism mixed with territory, you know. We get caught up in what territory we represent. And this is just human nature. You know, whether it's, you know, Collingwood and Richmond supporters having an argument in the train, or whether it's young kids in the bus mall going, who's the best in the mall, you know. It's all the same shit. People just find their teams, people find their packs, you know what I mean? But the thing is with these kids, they've got so much confidence. They've got so much character. For all you young fellas out there that are watching this, all you lads that are watching this, you know, take that confidence and do something with it. You can do anything you want. You can do anything you put your mind to, brother. And I mean that. You don't have to just be out here in the bus mall every day. You know, get a bit of an education. You got your phone. You can learn whatever you want on there. Get yourself out of here, you know. I'm hoping to catch up with Wombat today and have a bit of chat with him. It's hard to get him out of his burrow, but Yeah, I really want to have a chat with Wombat, and he's a great example of a kid that grew up in Glenorchy that managed to take himself to the world, you know what I mean? And he did it with all within his mind. He made sure his skills were sharp enough that he could, you know, show the world. And like, you go look at Wombat, you go anywhere in Australia, they'll tell you Wombat's one of the best rappers in this country. And this is his suburb, you know. He came from Glenorchy. Hello. What are you doing? Hey sis, how you doing?
I'm alright, Greeley. How you going, mate?
Going well, good to see you. Thanks for having a yarn. What's your name?
My name's Jess Hall.
Jess Hall.
Yeah.
And you've got a bit of a black eye.
I do.
What happened, sis?
I got accused of stealing.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah.
And this woman is a difficult woman.
Yeah.
You know, women can be the worst, and I'm the worst, but you know, but anyway. And I didn't steal a thing, and so I emptied all my bags out and everything, and she says she saw that I didn't steal anything. Yet you know how some people they just want to lay into you. There's like,
Yeah. They're just looking for someone to have a go at.
and then so then she just chose something and said it was hers, and then yeah.
Where did this happen?
Risdon Vale.
Risdon Vale, so it wasn't even in Glenorchy.
No, but like it could have been, you know.
Yeah,
it
for
could
sure.
have been. I did get headbutted at the Love Shack. I like to call it the Love Shack. Everyone knows what I'm talking about.
Is it the Elwick?
No.
Where's the Love Shack?
No, it's called it's most commonly known as the Crack Shack.
Okay.
You don't know where the crack.
No, I don't know where the Crack Shack is.
Really?
I think it's a good thing, isn't it? That I don't know where the Crack Shack is.
But like, it's almost like it's almost like as famous as like the Elwick, I suppose.
Yeah. Is it an actual venue or is it just a trap
it's someone's
house?
house.
Yeah, it's a trap.
Pretty much. And then you have like the people who suddenly just come in there and they take over, and they've got like their shrines of hats and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.
Interesting.
And you can write your name on the wall there.
Sick. I want to write my name in the Crack Shack.
You should.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the type. It's sort of a sort of fly in, fly out sort of place.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to stay there too long.
It's just an abandoned
You will
house.
get everything stripped. Like, you know, eventually they'll take everything from you if you're not careful.
Okay.
Like I got dropped there once recently, actually. My ex got me on acid.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to talk about drugs on this?
Yeah, you're allowed to talk about whatever you want.
Cool.
Keep it real.
I'm very real.
Yeah.
And then he left me at a place, and then someone stole my JBL flip because I was on acid and I didn't know what I was doing, and like I'd only had that speaker. People have heard me go on and on about my JBL flip, right?
Yeah.
Because the bass is like so intense. Like am I going to say this? I'm going to say this, aren't I?
You can say whatever you like.
So I may, let's just say allegedly, or
Allegedly?
yeah, I had an orgasm on my speaker.
You had an orgasm on your on your JBL
Yes,
flip.
and then it got stolen. I don't know.
Allegedly. You allegedly had an orgasm on your JBL flip.
No, well, yeah. allegedly. And then someone stole it from me, and I still haven't got it back, and I've been flipping out all the time.
Damn.
And then last time I went there, I found the box, like the front and the back, and I thought someone's fucking with me for sure.
Yeah.
You know? So every time I go there, I sort of, you know, say something about my
Yeah, for sure.
The first time I met you actually was in Kingston, and you had this look on your face. I don't know. I came there with Dafty.
Yeah, right, with Dafty.
And you had caught, like I think it was just before you.
Yeah, right, yeah.
And the look on you were pretty down. Obviously.
Yeah, fucking oath.
And I said something stupid like, I said something like, "Is your face all?" You know, you always sort of like, I don't know, something stupid.
Some sad,
This
yeah.
was years ago.
I was
but-
probably very sad, to be honest.
Yeah, you look really.
And
sad,
I was really
mate.
trapped.
Like, how old are you now?
I'm 34.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
I'm 4 years older than you.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
You're doing well, you're doing well.
Thanks, I think so.
Hey.
I'll check that. That's bad.
That's bad. What's
yeah,
that?
that's bad. So that is so the girl who attacked me, the
Yeah.
woman who attacked me, she ripped open. This is a burn from a kettle.
Oh, that's nasty.
I know.
Oh.
And
I want to put some babanthum on that.
And look, I've sort of had a rebirth, I think.
A rebirth?
Well, I had an accidental overdose last year on November the 15th.
Oh shit, what was your
GHB.
overdose?
I
Oh,
was really stressed and I just had a big swig, and then I ended up down in Franklin in a field.
in Franklin?
Yeah, I used to live down in Franklin.
Yeah,
He's got a
true.
lovely friend.
Yeah.
Who lives in a beautiful house on a hill, I say.
Yeah, true.
But
So you OD'd on GHB down there?
yeah.
Is it
But like
GBH or GHB?
GHB.
Is it? Or not
GBH.
Grievous bodily harm, is that what it
Yeah.
stands for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to have a real problem with it. That's actually the reason why I came down to Hobart to live with my pops 7 years ago, to get away from it.
True.
And then he ended up, unfortunately, having a stroke, and then
Yeah.
I ended up homeless. And then,
Yeah.
and then I meet Simon Tafe.
No,
Safe
Tafey.
with Tafe.
You met Tafey?
Yes.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Old Simon.
Well, he taught me, a few things. He taser shock therapy,
Taser shock therapy.
Yeah, 'cause a few times I'd say, Jess, shut up. And I couldn't hear him because I was in the...
And so he'd
sometimes-
taser you?
Only once.
Only once?
But that was enough. And then, and then I stopped talking to everyone but him.
Oh,
And then
Simon.
Oh, Tafey.
Oh, Tafey.
Safe with Tafe. Safe with Tafe.
You get tased with Tafey from what I can tell.
Yeah, I did.
He's a
Good
unit.
story. I know.
He's a
I
unit.
know. He's all right. I don't know. And I'm getting my motorcycle license.
Yeah, sick.
yeah.
Fuck yeah. Where are you
Then-
off to today?
I don't know.
Don't know. We're going to go have a look at the crack shack?
Yeah, mate.
Let's do it.
Fuck.
Let's do it. It's game on.
This is awesome. I can't believe I was just...
So I'm here with my friend Jess, and we're talking about mental health. And do you feel that there's a lot of mental health issues out here in Glenorchy?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you think that is?
I think that this is kind of going, well, this is part of mental health. I think the biggest thing that we're suffering from these days is lack of love,
Yeah, it's lack of love.
because everybody just wants to feel loved, really.
Yeah, so it's a cultural thing, hey?
Yeah. And if we were just kinder, like, we're such
Yeah.
cunts.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
know, it's like, well, I just... And,
Do you think that like drug addiction just pretty much does to go hand in hand with the lack of love?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then once everyone's high and they're not loved, and then they're just being more cunts to each
And they
other.
just want to get hot, and then it's like if they lose that part of themselves through addiction, then of course, they're going to, for example, for myself, I've experienced multiple sort of traumatic events or things
Yeah,
happen
for
to me,
sure.
and then I didn't get help for any of them, and so I have complex PTSD.
Yeah, for sure.
So I mean, and that's through my lifestyle, through drug addiction, through hanging around people who are not safe.
Yeah,
unsafe
people that are
environments.
traumatized as well
Yeah.
and on drugs, and then they reflect
Absolutely.
their trauma onto you. And,
Absolutely, and I understand it now, but
Yeah.
I had undiagnosed ADHD
yeah,
for years, and that makes
Yeah.
sense why I've always struggled with
100%.
because I need to be medicated. I need to.
Yeah, well, like I guess the main medication for ADHD is dexamphetamine.
Yes.
So that's why I guess meth, because I've got ADHD as well,
Okay.
and I think so many people do. I think one of the biggest
Absolutely.
undiagnosed sort of conditions that is common these days is ADHD and
Absolutely.
autism spectrum,
Yeah.
and
See, I apparently someone said, a few people have said this, that I'm slightly on the spectrum for autism.
and this is
but,
the thing.
I
I think we all are in some way. Like the more that people are, the more that this language is evolving for us to continue to understand ourselves, our personality traits, and the way we behave. It's
yeah.
either it's rapidly evolving, or the language is rapidly evolving, or maybe just half the world is masking and not being their pure selves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
was masking
Like-
for a long time, and
Yeah.
I thought I had to sort of portray or behave in a certain way to get attention.
Yeah.
And this is only a very recent thing, and I've got, a very sort of, well, I got headbutted at this place,
Yeah.
not intentionally, but someone was just so frustrated with my behaviour.
Yeah.
Because like I felt like I wasn't heard for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, and I found through being overly flirtatious or like,
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know, I got people listened. If I got, okay, this is extreme, but if I got my tits out, people would they'd pay me attention.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
That's what I
Like,
started off with,
and
and
it's-
then that started getting you in trouble. Obviously.
yeah, of course.
I wasn't getting my tits out everywhere, mind you, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's sort of.
But that's
behaviour
but like
or-
when people are just not listening to you,
Yeah.
which shows just how disconnected we are.
So the listening.
If you're
thing,
at the point where you feel you need to get your boobs out to get someone's attention, it's a hard place that you're in, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's lucky I have okay tits, but like,
Yeah.
or someone said not bad, so I was like, oh, thanks. But it's not the way for me to. I'm.
No, it's definitely not a healthy way, and it's going to attract some bad attention.
Oh, it has.
Yeah.
Women don't like it,
No, and
but
and men probably don't respect it either.
Yeah, well, they a lot of people have said, have some respect for yourself.
Exactly,
Sort of thing. And
yeah.
I couldn't see it like until someone sort of said that. That's what it took for me to have a real hard look at myself, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you, Jess. Good on you for being honest with yourself and so open about it.
Oh, looks know if that's okay. We're just well, this is you know, this is that's his office.
Oh, nice.
Staff only.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. Have you guys met? Have you guys met each other?
How you doing, brother? Greeley.
Hello.
Nice to meet you, Tomo. Yeah, I recognise you, bro. Yeah. I was cruising around doing like a vlog talking about mental health and different things.
No, but yellow and purple mini?
No.
No.
Oh, but it wouldn't surprise me, man. It's a small
Oh, it's
place.
pretty cool, dude. It was in the the clown movie, the clowns, in San Fran.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The old clown movie.
Well, it's just like
Very random. Just walking down the street. Is
that's like Preston Davis sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
It's Dion. Hey. It's only Dion in there.
Really?
Yeah, come back.
Oh, yeah.
How are you?
So I didn't want to film too much in there, but yeah, it turns out I know the guy that lives there. I've known him for like 12, 13 years, you know, and I remember 13 years ago he was just starting to get on the gear. And yeah, now his house is known as the Crack Shack, you know what I mean? And it's sad. It's actually breaks my heart quite a bit. And then when I've gone inside, I see one of my mates from prison in there, and he was not healthy, you know, and he was very sick. He was terminally sick, and he deteriorated a lot since I last saw him. And yeah, that was some real shit. I had to give him a hug. I got a photo with him. I'll put the photo in here. Dion Lumley. I'll put it in the video. But yeah, that's the reality of this world, you know. Fucking a lot of pain, a lot of drugs, and then a lot of sickness. And you might not see someone for a couple of years, and then you see them and you're like, holy shit, they're terminally ill. It's the reality, you know. Last time I saw that fella, he was fit and strong and training in jail, and just where I saw him then, he was very unwell. And I could see how much he was frustrated trying to talk to me because he was really struggling with communication, you know. And this is the real world. When you don't hide yourself from the real world, you know, move with love and respect, like you just see so much pain, a lot of sickness, you know. It's a very hard one. I just caught up with Batsky, good old Wombat. It's very good to see him. He's looking real healthy and he's looking like he's in a good place, and you know, yeah, Wombat grew up out here in Glenorchy, and it's a hard environment to grow up in, you know. I've known Wombat since he was about 18, 19. When I first reached out to him to work on some music, I came across Wombat, and I think his friend Josh Barrow, actually, he was the one that kept hitting me up, and he said, check out my bro Wombat. And so, yeah, I reached out to him. I came out here to Glenorchy and I met him, and then we got him down to the studio in Kingston, and we started working on his music. And I think the first video I did with Wombat was the first episode of THC TV. And it was Wombat and I going back to back with some bars. And then, yeah, the next episode was Wombat and Flylacine, and kind of went from there. But then we were recording Wombat solo tracks. We did Watch Out, we did Rise Up, we did Gassed Up, and they all blew the fuck up. And I've watched Wombat go on a pretty hectic journey, you know. I watched him go from a 19-year-old sitting here in Glenorchy. No one really knew how talented he was to becoming one of the biggest rappers in the country. And that's a crazy journey, you know. A lot of his generation, they blew up a lot quicker than my generation did because the internet was different. You know, the culture was different. You know, hip-hop in Australia was a lot more accepted when he came onto the scene compared to when I was like first coming onto the scene. See, when I was first hanging out here in Glenorchy as a kid, no one believed that you could be a rapper in Australia. You know, it was like, mate, what do you think? You think, oh, you're an American gangster, do ya? You know? And I'm really proud of like Wombat's style, because one thing that I always like prided myself on as a rapper was being technical. And Wombat took that technical style and he fucking took it across the country. And it's, you know, between some of the Tassie artists, I confidently say that we've got some of the most technical lyricists in the country, you know, whether it be battles or on tracks. I'm really proud of our standard of lyricism that we've got in Tassie hip hop. And Wombat is a massive, massive representation of that, you know. Good old Glenorchy. I was just walking through the bus mall and some fella was just screaming at the top of his lungs, and he looks at me and he goes, "Are you Greeley?" I was like, "Yeah, mate." And then he goes, "Yeah, everyone wants me to smash you, but you're all right, mate." And he came over and gave me a hug. So who knows? Who knows what the people want? Who knows if they love me? Who knows? But I'm out here, I got nothing but love to give. You know, I got nothing but time to listen. And I ain't coming out here judging, you know what I mean? I got nothing but love. And I think too much in this society, people were happy to watch on and judge from afar, whereas I'm not scared, you know? Yeah, I got nothing but love to give and respect. I just want to understand where people are at. You know, understand why they might be in this situation, why they might be angry, why they might be on drugs. Once again, we can't look at the surface level. We have to go down to the roots of the problem to try and figure it out, you know. And as Jess was saying, once again, it's just a lack of love. It's a massive lack of love. And I'm in the old food court in Northgate. Got some good old dirty bird. But yeah, Glenorchy's always been like, "Imran, how you doing, brother? You going well?" Yeah. It's always been a very like community-based place, I feel, Glenorchy.
You're doing a podcast.
Pardon? No, I'm Greeley. Yeah, come have a seat.
I've been seeing you in at the Republic Bar.
Did
What's
you?
going on, brother?
Want to have a chat
Oh, what? Really?
for my vlog?
Luckies?
Yeah, why not?
Alright, what are we going to chat about? Oh my god,
About
really?
Glenorchy. What was your name?
Casey Mark.
Casey. Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Casey.
meet you too.
So you said you came to one of my gigs before?
Yeah, at the Republic Bar. Yeah, it was my first time
Really?
coming in. Yeah,
And how'd you find the gig?
it was awesome. Yeah,
For sure.
really good environment too. Like, yeah,
And you grew up here in Glenorchy?
yeah, yep.
How old are you?
38.
38. So I was a bit younger than you when I was hanging out here.
Yeah.
Now, like, I've been chatting with people as I've been walking around Glenorchy. Do you think it's changed much?
Yeah, it has.
It has?
Yeah.
In which way has it changed?
Just the young kids,
Yeah.
like, you know, and it's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like completely different to when I grew up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Because it was still pretty hectic out here when we were growing up.
yeah,
There was lots of bogans, still a bit of gang sort of stuff, but it seems to definitely be evolving differently, you know what I mean?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
What do you think it is?
Through the drugs, I reckon.
Yeah. It's more addiction and
Yeah.
more broken families, so more kids without a safe place or support.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. What about the influence? What do you think's influencing them?
Probably what's going on at home,
Yeah.
you know, because, like, you know, I've got 2 young boys.
Yeah.
I've got 4 actually. 14, 16, 8, 7 and 8. 6 and 7. Yeah.
For sure. And do you find with your young boys in Glenorchy, are they easily influenced by the other kids around them?
No, so I went to jail back in 2018
Yeah.
for driving with illicit drugs in my system. And my 2 older boys, their father come and got them from Melbourne.
Yeah.
Because I sort of, at the age of 18, I sort of like went to Melbourne to my best friend.
Yeah.
And sort of liked it over there, and I hooked up with a fella and
Yeah.
rocked his world, and he chased me.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, I ended up 8 years over there.
Yeah,
and
right.
had 2 beautiful boys.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And now you've come back home.
Yeah, I come back home in 2014,
Yeah.
like, because it was a bit rough over there.
Yeah,
Things
for
were
sure.
happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's a different level of hecticness in Melbourne and the mainland compared to down here.
Yeah, I
right?
love it though.
Yeah, same here. It's a but it's
The
interesting.
level.
It's a different level, but I've tried to explain it to people over there. We have our own level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our level might not seem as hectic on the surface, but it's deep down here. It's the deeper hectic level in
Yeah, it
Tassie.
is.
Do you
Far
think,
out,
like,
far out. And a lot of it has got to do with the drugs.
yeah. Do you think it's got a bit to do with the trauma as well, like generationally? Like for people that are
Yes.
stuck down here in
Yep,
Tassie compared
yep,
to the
totally.
ones that got away, you know?
Yep.
There's one thing I've noticed, especially with certain families that have been down here for, you know, generations and generations.
Yeah.
And now they're huge, you know what I mean? And if there's been trauma in the family back then, now it's like triple.
Coming out,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
like
far out.
the more kids that people are having that come from families that have been through a lot of trauma,
Yeah.
you see more kids that are getting caught up in this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
God bless. What do you think is some positive ways that we can help change and support the youth? Do you think some more spaces, safe spaces for them to go?
Yeah, yeah.
Do your kids go up to the youth centre here in Glenorchy at all?
No, so they're still in Melbourne at the moment.
Okay, yeah.
With Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if many kids down here are hanging out at Pulse or anything like that anymore?
No.
No. It's all gone.
Yeah. Something needs to change though, because, like, you know, back in September last year, there was a sort of meet and greet with all them teenagers, and
Yep.
I have never seen so many police in Glenorchy
Yeah,
at
right.
one time, like from the Eastern Shore to sort of Bridgewater to Glenorchy. Like there was at least 50 to 60 teenagers.
Yep.
Like there was supposed to be a fight. Like,
Yeah.
guys, I'm just going down to the toilet. Yeah, but something needs to change. Like, you know, we
So
need
when all
youth
the-
workers on the street.
Yeah, we need more youth
Or
workers.
something like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
People that are actually connected to the youth that they
Yeah.
respect.
Yeah, and people that have had experience. You know, lived experience. Not, you know, like textbook shit.
I think that's the biggest problem. Is that in the system, people learn the textbook and they think they can come into the real world and use
Yeah,
that.
and it doesn't work like that.
No.
Like I'm dealing with substance use at the moment. I'm
Yeah.
actually in rehab.
Well done, sis.
And like, you know, like I've swum to clearer waters,
Yeah.
and I can see where I want to be, because I was always someone that had a 5-year plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I knew
100%.
where I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And the last 4 years, like, has just been so fucked up for me that it's not funny. Like,
For
excuse
sure.
my language.
No, you're all good.
But it's like, I'm going to put myself into, like, working with children, trauma
Beautiful.
children.
Yeah.
Because it's wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, even the welfare system, that's
Yeah, it's
fucked up.
broken. It's all
Like,
broken.
What? You know, our children are going to fall into numbers.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Well,
wrong.
that's the system. The whole system is about numbers. You know what I mean? If you're an
Yes.
inmate, you're a number.
Yep.
If you're a kid in welfare, you're
You're
a number. It's the whole system, and the more that we systematically change our world and we apply the family unit to a system, it separates the family. You know.
Yeah, far out. Kids don't want to go home.
No.
Kids should want to go home.
Well, that's
You
it.
know, like I remember when I was growing up here, they had the youth centre up where they just built the building for the Royal Hobart Hospital.
Okay, yeah.
Like there was a skate ramp there.
Yeah.
There was youth workers on the street.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there, and it was like probably lucky for that being there. Like for, you know, my group of people that were hanging around at the time.
100%.
God knows where we would have been.
Yeah, it
or
was,
where we would have ended
for me
up.
as well. Like when I was hanging around Glenorchy when I was young, it was Pulse. You know, that gave us a
Oh,
safe
yeah, in
place.
town?
That was the first place I ever recorded.
Yeah, wow.
No, in here, in Glenorchy, at
Wow.
Pulse with Matt Fargo.
Where was
Yeah,
Pulse at?
just up behind the bus mall there, where the mural is over to the left.
Oh, yeah,
And there's a
I
little
know.
basketball area and things
Yeah.
like that in there.
Yeah.
And that was a great space, you know.
And they had housing there too.
They didn't have
Upstairs.
housing. No, it was like a health
Upstairs?
service as well. There might have been
right.
something upstairs. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But it was like a health service. You go in there and play a game of pool, or they had a recording studio and some instruments in there.
Yeah.
And that was the first place that I started recording hip hop,
Yeah, wow.
which gave me a whole journey ahead. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
like after I seen the gig in at the Republic Bar, I started sort of looking at your music and,
yeah.
you know, like and one of my close friends' mums, like, because I was sort of like, I couldn't get the hip hop.
Yep.
And then, like, my friend's mum said, look, it's today, because she was into it. And
Yeah,
it was
for
like,
sure.
I'd give it a go. And it was so beautiful. It was a
Awesome.
beautiful space to be in that night.
Awesome.
Like,
That
you know,
means a lot.
yeah, I have, because I don't go out much.
Yeah.
I'm sort of a bit of a hermit.
And there's
to
so
myself.
much shit out in the town too. You don't want to get, you know, I don't really feel safe in a lot of venues.
I'm a lone
or bars.
ranger.
Yeah, same
You know
here.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'll split, you know,
Yeah.
like, yeah.
100%. Well, I'm honoured that we can make you feel safe out in town.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really try and do with my hip hop shows is create a safe space
And it is beautiful. Like, yeah.
where we can share. We're sharing our art, and you guys are enjoying it. You
Yeah.
know? Awesome. Well, thanks
Yeah.
so much, Jess. Thank
That's
you,
all
Casey.
right.
Give us a hug. Appreciate you heaps. Thanks for having a chat on my vlog.
No, that's all
It's
right.
called GreelTalk, and it'll be out on
GreelTalk.
YouTube.
Yeah, awesome. Excellent.
Have a wonderful
Take
day,
care.
Casey. You
Yeah.
too. I just saw my old mate, Imran. He didn't want to do an interview, but shout out to Imran. He's like the mayor of Glenorchy. I remember back in the day he worked at McDonald's, but he was still chilling in the food court. But you can't really say that you're a Glenorchy you can't really say that you're a Glenorchy local if you don't know who Imran is. Shout out to Imran. Hey, I'm here with a few mates. We're talking about Glenorchy. So did you guys all grow up here in Glenorchy? Yeah, Bridgewater.
Around here.
Yeah, for sure. And like, how do you think Glenorchy's changed compared to back in the day? Because I spent most of my time out here probably between like 14 and 17, you know what I mean?
I don't know, I think me personally, I think like all the young ones, like all the morals, like compared to what it was like, you know, 5, 6, 7 years ago compared to now, like, you know, everyone always got around like they did back then, but like the morals and like the way that, you know, come across to people and respect, it's all going down the drain, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And none of it's there like it used to be at all.
Do you think it's the different drugs that are available now that have like really fried it out? Yeah,
Like young kids find it too easy to get it, so
yeah,
like it's changed at the end of the day.
yeah, for sure.
Wrecks them in the brain and that, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Especially with meth, because like when I was hanging out here, it was just speed. Like there was only gunk, you know what I mean? Like there wasn't meth. And it seems now that the way that meth affects the brain, especially when the young kids are getting on it, only takes a year or two to completely frazzle them, you know what I mean?
But, like,
Fry their brains, you know.
Yeah.
You never hear of like, you know, like a certain age, yeah, like a bit young, but now these days, young as like 12, 13, like, and they're proud of it, like, you know, like,
Yeah.
everyone, like, left, right, and centre, it's taken over the world, like.
Yeah.
They're proud of being fried. They're proud of being on the meth, you know what I mean? Fried.
Do you think it's because they've got nothing else to be proud of? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just,
I guess they're just trying to take care of the reputation.
yeah,
Follow the leader, really, I reckon.
Reputation ain't nothing these days.
yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely a like environmental thing. You know what I mean? You adapt to your environment.
It's, you know, follow like the leader kind of thing, like it's a sheep game, you know, like your mate's doing it, someone you know is doing it, like you want to do it to fit in.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, like, next thing you know, you're hooked, you know, like,
Yeah.
your whole group, like, everyone's.
Understandable if you had a bad life, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But it is sad when you think about it, like,
Yeah.
I remember, like, they're wasting their childhood, you know, like, one day they're gonna want it all go back.
Yeah,
and
of
there's
course.
not one thing they can say or do, you can change it, and, you know, when it hits home, it's coming too late, you know.
It's a hard one. Even with like not, you know, as serious for me with meth, but like it's taken me to my mid-30s to really wake up from the influence
100%.
that and understand how I was influenced. Because the same deal, I was out here getting on that shit. You know what I
Like,
mean?
young,
But
naive,
yeah,
like,
young, naive, and I just wanted to fit in. You know what I mean?
Turns out.
Yeah. Like I was from Kingston, so when I was hanging out here with all the Glenorchy kids, I wanted to fit in as much as possible. You know what I mean? And
100%.
yeah, and that was how you fit in. You go get fucked up. You
And
know
like
what I mean?
kids, like, you know, they try to do
Yeah,
it to
fucked
men,
up and
they're
out,
broken
all
home, but at the end
everything,
of the day, that's what breaks homes. And, like,
Yeah, and the cycle continues.
and as sad as it is, like, Glenorchy is one of the main places, like, you know,
Yeah.
easiest for the kids to all meet up. and
Easiest place
do
to
it.
find a drug if you ask me.
Yeah, it's everywhere out here. Yeah,
It's a sad truth of, like, you know,
yeah,
today living, like, our society now, it's nothing like it used to be. Like,
It's a very hard one. Like, I've been out here a couple of hours and already got invited to a trap house up there, and I went inside and had a chat, and
you'd be
you know.
surprised, like, you know, every 1-2 doors down, like, you know, it's taken over the world, and like kids these days, they're not going to know what a childhood was. You know, they're growing up way before the time.
That's it.
And,
They're getting brought into it too early, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I see kids that are 11, 10 years old that are fucking...
It's hectic.
Life, you know?
It's hectic.
100%.
What's a way that you guys think that we could like help curb it? Do you think more safe spaces, like?
Or just more places for young kids to go chill and speak and speak their mind, bro.
Do you think decriminalising it would help?
I think instead of looking at everyone like, you know, they're a criminal and they're
'Cause that's
wrong,
it.
like, think about like,
It's trauma.
you know, rehabilitation, like, you know, you help them, like, give
They
them
use
something
it.
they want to work towards, get
Yeah.
them off it, like,
They
they're
use it
going
to
to
try
like,
and
you know
take
what I mean?
away the trauma.
That's it. That's it. Like, these kids have pain, and there's nothing out there for the kids' pain. So of course they're going to go get on meth. Like when you go through those horrific traumas, your brain releases adrenaline. So that's why they get it hooked on the meth, because it gives you the same adrenaline as the trauma you had. You know what I mean? And that's
Man, like,
Looking
you're
at it
not
that
really,
way is, you know...
you're
yeah.
not really fixing
Yeah, well, that's how it actually works. And like, it's my mates in like drug and alcohol counselling that taught me about. We get so worried about the outcome, but we don't look at the problem underneath it. We're all worried about the kids on the street and meth, but we don't, you know, we need to look at the domestic violence, the family unit, and there needs to be some more support from the
what they
ground
had
up.
to live, what they had to live. You know, what I mean? They need to look at the life they lived, and the way that they turned out is the reason of the, you know, way they live. Like, the way they live is the reason they turn out. They shape their life.
Yeah.
And they're really like, they're trying to fix one problem by replacing it with an even worse problem. Like,
Yeah.
they're back to square one. It's not like,
But
until
the time
it's
they
something
don't
they want to like change for, like it's gonna be endless cycle. Like nothing's gonna change. Like Glenorchy, the Greens, Buffalo, it's gonna be on a cycle. You know, it's not gonna change unless they want to change. And they, you know, they're like, I get if you know the government, they try to put like, you know, places in to help them that, but really they're just on what they think. Have they actually sat down with the young people and they're like,
Yeah, they would.
see
Yeah.
what they want to do, then they will want to change it. But that's like, you know, leading them towards what they want. And
Yeah.
goals, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it
exactly.
makes sense, like,
And they're getting themselves paid off it. That's the thing as well. They try and think what's good for the community, and then they're getting paid, and the kids are there still with no actual support, and there's no money there to support them because the government have pocketed it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but
The government's a devilish thing, you know.
yeah, well, it's the system, you know, and it says in the Bible, like, you know, everyone will be numbered by the mark of the beast. And like, the more that I kind of look into this world and how the system is failing us, I see it's the more that we treat people as numbers, the more we treat people as statistics. And that's it. The fact is, no one that lives in Sandy Bay that works at government house in the middle of town gives a fuck about Glenorchy. You know what I mean? They're only worried about their backyard.
At the end of the day, what about all like, so you got the welfare system, right, and then you got like the housing system. What about the housing system for these 16, 17-year-olds to actually do what they want?
Exactly.
They should at least supply. They should
Yeah.
at least supply
You're on the
a
waiting
stable
list for over 2 years
accommodation.
anyway.
Yeah, that's it.
it's easy to, you know, fix yourself up with the next fix, and then what it is easy to get yourself home, you know, like.
Yeah.
And they're wondering why it's all failing. Like,
Yeah.
they're literally like putting things in place that will help these young ones fail, but then sitting back like and wondering, oh, why we're failing, like, so to speak, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, well, it seems to me like, and you know, a lot of my mates work with the young fellas that are getting caught up in crime. I've got heaps of mates as support workers, and you know, we win these kids over because we actually give a fuck about them. You know what I mean? We look after them, and we'll make sure that, you know, if you need something and this is happening, you know, we'll just make sure that they're safe. You know, and these kids actually respect us, and some of them, you know, will still go out, you know, racking and, you know, stealing cars and doing all that sort of shit. But slowly, the more that we show them that we actually give a fuck about them, rather than just getting paid or being a support worker.
The more the slower the change.
Yeah, that's it. And bit
all
by
about
bit,
the change.
you know what I
It's all
mean?
about
Bit by bit.
You know, like they can't expect us to jump a mile
Yeah.
without taking a mile in our shoes, type thing.
Yeah, that's it.
If they walked a mile in our shoes, they wouldn't live it, you know.
No, for sure,
They wouldn't
man.
be
that's
living
all
like,
first steps. So they're like, and that's why, like, not just me, I'm sure like a lot of other young ones will be able to relate. Like, we relate to, like, you know, you and like
Yeah.
the ones like you that actually sit there and you just get to like understand from our level, like,
where other people, they're always like, you know, looking down,
Yeah.
you know, like judging, like saying what they can change about us instead of saying what they can help to like
Yeah.
fix us. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's Australia has got that problem. The same with the Aboriginal fellas, you know, like they always, oh, we know what to do. We'll build you a house. This and that. You know what I mean? But that's it. Everyone's
A house
different.
doesn't change your situation.
No,
You know, like,
and it doesn't help you heal.
yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing. There's no healing in this system. You know what I mean? They might like get you a support worker and yeah, well, that's it. Well, for the young kids that are ending up in resi care, they get put in a house and a support worker. It's not much different from jail. And a screw sitting there outside your cell. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, you're just getting used to being,
watched, you know?
yeah, you get watched, and you're just getting pushed around at this centre here, this and that, and people are babysitting. They're not actually people that have any idea how to heal themselves, let alone help the kids
You
take
need to
that
give the
journey.
kids the trust and you know what I mean, and the time to do it themselves. You can't push and expect to change.
Mind you, the ones that do judge, the ones that do look down, have they even like spent like a minute, 2 minutes like living the life that we all have, or are they just looking from the outside, judging the inside?
Yeah, they're looking from their lack of experience, you know, and like, and I've you know, travelled the whole country and been with around all sorts of different people, and yeah, and it's just a lack of experience. That's it. And I know it's funny, the older I get, the more grateful I am for my trauma, because it's kept me grounded.
It made you the person you are.
Yeah, that's it. And I love the fact that I can go anywhere, give respect and get respect in that sense.
Yeah, like,
you know, and
you respect, like, who respects you. Like,
yeah, and like I get asked all the time by people like, how are we going to fix these kids, Greeley? They all listen to your music, you know what I mean? And it's like, well,
I wonder why it's relatable, like.
yeah, well, that's it, because no one else is out there talking to them. Yeah. And like no one's out there relating with them on a personal level. That's what, and it's the same with like for example, Tupac back in the day.
Square One was my most relatable song.
Yeah, straight up, bro. That means a lot, man. On you, bro. And like that's, you know, I wrote that song for people like yourself, man, that fucking, you know, have gone in and get out, and that struggle of when you get out, like, fuck, I'm back at square one, and, you know, try to kind of put some hope in it.
But when you get out and you're back at square one, it's time to change, you know what I mean?
It is, man.
You changed.
Yeah.
If anyone can change, you know what I mean?
Oh, straight up, man. Kane Richardson, he's doing an amazing job. And it's hard when you watch someone that, like, they can be so comfortable in jail, and then the day they get out at that bus stop, their world's melting, you know what I mean? And that's it. We need to
adjust into, like, you know, you're so used to, like, one lifestyle, they can't just expect the next day it to be changed. Like, you know, they're still young, their minds ain't developed probably as well, like, you know, these young people around here. Like, they got to adjust to, like, you know, they sit there expecting to change straight up. Like, are they helping them through it? Like, helping them adjustments, like, getting them, like, what they need, not the help
Some
that they
kids
want
can't
them
do
to have, you know what I
counselling
mean?
or talk to people about it.
Yeah.
They're more like physical, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, straight up. Everyone's got their different ways, especially if they've grown up around physical trauma. I was talking to one of my mates who, yeah, grew up rough as fuck, and punching on is how he shows love. He need, you know, like for him to process emotions, he needs to fight.
As sad as it is, like, a lot of people normalise violence as well.
Yeah.
As well as drugs, as well as, like, this lifestyle, as well as, like, you know, the whole reputation thing, you know, like, it's their lifestyle, it's their normal.
And it all comes from fear.
You know, it's just the way it is these days.
Yeah, and it all comes from fear. Like when
fear
you,
brings the best out of us, you know?
Yeah.
Like, fear will bring the best out of us one day.
it's an interesting one, man. I've really been learning that, like, I feel that fear is the biggest, like, there's healthy fear, but love conquers all fear. You know what I mean? Like, I can walk in, when I was in Darwin working in the detention centre with some hectic kids. I walked in there with love in my heart and in my eyes, and I was safe. Yeah, 100%, you know, but when you watch a guard walk in and you see the guard look a bit scared, the kids are on him, you know what I mean? And so the more that I learn how to love, even in times when I am scared, it helps me overcome it. And it was interesting when I got back from Darwin and I saw a few lads and I was like, how you going, fellas? And they looked at me scared. And it was different to the fellas up north, you know, and I realised that a lot of this fear is colonial, you know what I mean? And especially in areas down here in Tassie where, like, it is 6th generation convicts out here, you know what I mean, that have been stuck down here for 6 generations now. And it's just that fear gets deeper and deeper, and that's why you get the families that need the big tough names and this and that, and it just becomes a fear competition and who could be more scary. But at the end of the day, you know, it's more...
We're all on the same level at the end of the day.
Exactly, we're just people. That's it. We all want to see our kids do well.
Colour, you know,
Yeah.
we should all
We all shit,
be
eat,
one
sleep.
nation, bro.
Yeah,
We
100%.
all come in the same way as well, you know, we all go out the same way. Like,
Exactly. Yeah, class doesn't matter at the end of the day.
It's not what pain you've been through. It's if you get out and you.
It's
you
what,
know,
yeah, it's what.
you're together. You
It's
know,
how it makes you.
You work.
What up, fam? My GoPro died before I got to finish have the yarn with the crew at the bus stop. But yeah, I jumped back on the bus and I came back to town. I'm definitely going to go back to Glenorchy and catch up with a few different mates. I want to do a vlog out in Glenorchy with Wombat and his older brother Raps One. And I also want to eventually do one with Wayne Howlett and hear some stories from his point of view, you know. Yeah, it broke my heart seeing Dion Lumley. Much love, brother. Like, yeah, to not see you for a while, bro, and catch up with you and to see you as crook as you were, it really, it rocked me, and I've been thinking about it since. You know, I'm blessed that I got to catch up with you today, bro, and I guess, yeah, we can't take our health for granted, you know what I mean? And sometimes when you know, that's it in these areas, there's a lot of pain, a lot of drugs, and then that affects the health of the community, you know? It's a fucking hard one. There's a lot of tragedy. And this is why we got to give love, you know what I mean? This is why we got to be kind through all the darkness. Try to find a way to coexist more peacefully. You know, every little interaction. If you're nice to someone, you can change their day. And bless, you know. Jess, I could tell she's deep in her journey, but she had a kind heart, you know what I mean? And same with everyone I talked to today. Except for old mate when the camera was off, that was a bit worked up, you know. But once again, he was so deep into his addiction that it was scary. And all I saw was pain. All I saw was people that are a bit lost, you know. And even on the bus on the way back into town, I had a yarn with one of the fellas from the bus stop, and really, you know, he said his biggest struggle was knowing how to process grief from when his mum died. And that's a fact. A lot of these kids in these suburbs that are affected by domestic violence or drugs or, you know, just toxic elements of society, and then they're losing their loved ones at a young age. There's no one around them to help them process or to help them understand death. And that's both where they get straight into the addiction, which then leads to crime. Because the more that you your self-worth goes down, the more that you allow yourself to fall deeper into the drug addiction, and the more that you allow yourself to continue into the cycle of crime. And that's what's happening with these kids, you know, like, you know, the kids that my mates that are working with, the support workers, these kids grow up in a world where no one shows them their value. That's the thing, these kids don't have value for themselves because no one's showing them how valued they are. And if you're watching and you're a young person that's really struggling with your self-worth, please take it from me. Find it in there. Find your value. And you are valuable. Start taking actions of love towards yourself to get yourself into a better place, you know. Every dream that you have is very achievable. You just need to start putting in the steps to get towards it, one step at a time. And even when you take one step back, 2 steps forward again. 1 step back, but then 2 steps forward. And so long as you're moving forward little bit by little bit, you know, get yourself to a good place where you feel connected and you feel your value. You know, it's very hard to watch these young people with their whole life ahead of them not realize their own self-worth. It's all in here. It's all in here. You can change the world, but you can only do it from within here, you know. And yeah, I'm going to keep connecting up. I'm going to keep cruising out to different areas. I'm going to go out to Clarendon Vale. I'm going to go out to Bridgewater, go out to Rugby, go down to Kingston, up to Marinette Heights, you know. Going to keep cruising around. I'm going to go to some rural towns across Tassie before I head off to the mainland, you know. And I really want to like plant some seeds and go to these places and you know, for anyone that's willing to share, I hope that they can take something from this experience. You know, even watching myself back on these vlogs, I'm understanding myself better. You know, I was very grateful to do the one about death. Watching it back, I was actually like, it made me more solidified in my experience of how I understand the world, because a big part of putting this out there is helping me process it is fear of judgment. Because once again, when people are carrying trauma and they're not processing it, and then they hear someone talk about death so comfortably, it can be very confronting, you know what I mean? But, you know, and I hope that the humor that I used wasn't taken in a bad way, but sometimes, you know, we do need a bit of humor to get us through the hard times. There's some hard times, you know. But yeah, big love, fam. I hope you enjoyed that vlog. That was my first lurk to Glenorchy. And I hope the Captain Glenorchy comes back. It's your time, mate. Time to make the return. Marvel's going to shit. No one likes Marvel movies anymore. We need to get Captain Glenorchy, the movie. Oh, come on. Come on, Arts Taz. Fund me for that. Captain Glenorchy, the movie. Woo! That sounds like the best movie ever made in Tasmania. What do you reckon? Captain Glenorchy, the movie. Let's fire it up. Thank you for holding space, fam. Peace, love, much respect, unity. Stay connected.